networks and network operations. So we know that these are some of the big macro issues that we're looking at, but to get to that, we have to get to community, building relationships, establishing new connections, creating visibility amongst the practitioners in the industry. And so having the meetings in short order is a big part of that strategy, making sure that there is a very little gap between country regional gathering A and country regional gathering B and C and D, so that the buzz goes around, the community understands there is value in participation. There is selfish personal value. I get to learn some more stuff about what I'm interested in, but then there's also this wider value, which is I get to influence stuff that is important to me. Right? And so we want to have that balance between the technical training and competence and capacity building issues and the influence, profile, and reputation dimension of it. Make sense? Yes? That's what we're going for.
It's one of the other common things that comes in is a lot of time you get an engineer come along to a meeting and they'll ask one of the tutors or just somebody else that said that knows more. I've got this problem, so I've got my network set up like this, but I've got some problem. And often the tutor or one of the other guys will sit down and say, well, have a look at their configs and what they've got. So, well, actually, you need to do exactly this. So people often come to these groups, and the most recent one I was at was the Sanok meeting in Bhutan, in the Malaz. The network there has had a lot of input from a couple of guys that met at one of these conferences. They don't have a lot of resources locally in terms of highly skilled routing engineers and that sort of thing. So their network's come a long way in the last 5 years for people just assisting through meetings like this. So there's some very tangible benefits that that people can get out of these things by tuning up.
Okay, buddy, your question? Hi, Roger Taylor, CTU. I just wanted you to expand a bit on a bit more on the profile of your typical partners. But it's clear if you're obviously in an engineering say ISP, for example, an internet engineer. Does your mandate include, say, telecommunications engineers, software developers, that kind of thing? What is the typical profile of a participant?
It's pretty wide, and again, it changes, it varies by region. So take some ones I'm familiar with. So in the Pacific, in PACNOG, it tends to be about 90% engineers. Right? Now the Pacific, again, being much like the Caribbean here, you often have one or two people at each company, and their job is to do everything, right, technically. So these people turn up to get some extra training and whatever field it is has been offered and they need at the time. So I suspect in the Caribbean here, you're going to get a lot of engineers for just that reason. Right? It's a chance to get training in specific technologies. In the more developed regions, you tend to get a lot more, I suppose, sales engineers and that sort of thing, because at the same time, they want to participate in the community. I suppose the benefit for them in the long run is if they work well with the community, they can expect to get better business back from the community. And there's been you'll typically find that a lot of the sponsors that keep sponsoring relatively large amounts each year tends to be for that exact reason, right? They get seen from a PR perspective as a company that's actually interested in helping the region, that sort of thing. So, and that's paid off for a few that I know of that have supported these meetings. They've ended up picking up their biggest customers at exactly these meetings. So, as far as software engineers and management and others go, you always get people around the edges coming to these things, whether it's just interest, personal interest, or because if they've got a small company, then everyone does a lot of jobs. So there's no one engineer, there's no one management person. Everyone's sort of doing multiple sort of things to keep the company running. So I think you want to encourage as many sort of varied people as possible to come, because you never know, you might be talking to somebody and say, you might be able to forge a new business relationship, get a new entrant into a market somewhere, because just to get that connection at the meeting. So I probably wouldn't worry too much about profiling people or trying to attract specific